Hey, Brother Sewing and Crafting family, Angela Wolf here today. And it sounds like there's some gremlins going around on the internet somewhere. So we might be on Facebook, we might not, but I know we're on YouTube because we've got a ton of fans already in here saying hi. It's so nice to see you all. So I posted a message that we were going to maybe not go live because, oh, you can hear me. That's like two of us because I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to, but it looks like YouTube's working. So we'll go live here. And if Facebook works, it works. But I already see so many of you in here. I didn't want to leave you hanging. So we have got a fantastic show for you today. You probably heard me say this before, but when we have something this good, you better grab your notepad because there's a lot to learn. Barb is here. Actually, I'm so excited to see Barb because you all know we were on the cruise together, and now you get to see more of her. She's got some great projects coming up for St. Patty's Day. So pop in, say hi, say where you're from. And I see all of you on YouTube rolling in, so that's fantastic. I know the fans usually know if Facebook isn't working, pop on over here. So Barb, how are you?
I'm great. And it's good to see you, Angela. And I'm so thrilled to be here today with some new ideas.
I'm so excited. In fact, I was just talking to Win, and I told him that you were coming on today, and he's like, tell Barb hi. We had so much fun. He wanted to know if you had fun on the cruise and if you were recovered, and he also wanted to know if you gained as much weight as he did, because that's all he's talked about since we got back.
Yes, 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 and yes.
So the brother family is rolling in, Barb, and sounds like we got a little glitch on Facebook, but we thought, let's just do this live on YouTube and we can share to Facebook later. And it looks like it caught on very quickly because they're all over here. So, hey, Phyllis. Phyllis was on the cruise with us. Oh my gosh, this is like a family reunion.
That's great.
Okay, well, Barb, I'm really excited about your projects. I got to see a little preview of these. You guys are going to die when you see these.
I hope so. I am really excited about them. And not only that, I will say this several times. These are for St. Patrick's Day, yes, but you can use these ideas for any holiday, any season. So I hope to see some really great, reiterations of these ideas.
Awesome. Hey, by the way, Barb, you must be lucky. We must be lucky because Facebook is back on. Hey, Mary, how are you? Mary Stevens is in here, and she's like, oh, Facebook is back on. Just for the show. They must have known that our fans are going to be super upset. So they're here.
Yay.
All right. Well, Barb, I'll let you take it away and I'll monitor questions and comments, and we'll just take breaks for those every once in a while. And everyone, we are live. So ask your questions. Barb is a wealth of information. So you've got your 1 hour chance.
Okay, let's do this. First of all, I'm going to start with this. Last month, many people asked if this was a quilt design. And it's not, it's just my thread rack. It literally holds all my threads. So I have 3 of these stacked up on this wall, and it's a brother thread rack. And I love having those at my fingertips. So I just wanted to clear that up. Then I have 3 projects for you today. They're all done on either ScanNCut or in the Stellaire, but of course they could be done on many different brother machines. So, ask your questions if you're not sure. And I'm going to start with, I think, the easiest one. So let me go there. I did a chair back cover. Okay, so there's a chair and I covered it. And all you have to do is figure out how wide it needs to be and how long you want it to be. That's all you need to figure out. And then you make a pillowcase. Literally, it's just a sleeve that you slip on the back of the chair, and then you figure out your design, whatever you want to do. So imagine if you made this reversible and you maybe did St. Patrick's Day on one side and Valentine's Day on the other side, or something like that. So that would be 2 holidays in one for your chair back covers. So once I was done doing this, I thought, oh, I love it. It's so cute. I need to make another one. I want a pair. Well, guess what? I made everything out of scrap fabric, so I didn't have enough of that plaid to do another one. But I might mix it up and just do different fabrics with it to make another one. So what I want you to notice here in the close-up is that when I got done, I put the design against this fabric on the pillowcase, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I wanted to put some white around it so it would pop off of the fabric. So let me show you where my inspiration came from and how I made it happen. All right. So this was designed by a friend of mine who wanted to make it out of wood. And they were going to just groove out these different areas and then paint. Okay. So this friend of mine is very creative. He's very Scottish and his wife is completely Irish and they love to do all kinds of craft things, but he's a woodworker. So I thought, okay, that's cool, but why don't I make it a quilt block? So I took it to my graph paper and I went ahead and I drew this whole thing out. And then I started thinking about making it. And it's like, oh, how do I do these curves? Remember, I started as a garment maker. I did not start as a quilter. So I thought, oh, easy. I'll just square these up and then I'll trim it when I'm done sewing it. Well, guess what? I made the other two projects first and I ran out of time. So I decided, oh, there's an easy way to do it. I just, on my light box, traced the pieces that needed to be cut on my ScanNCut. And I traced this piece, that was the gold that went all the way around it, to cut on my ScanNCut. And I traced a piece, just the outline. And then remember I said I needed to make it bigger. So I put that in my scan board and scanned it in my ScanNCut. Oh, it turned off on me. I should reset that. So I already scanned it in. Let me kind of show you how you would do that. And I know you've seen this before. Let me change to my screen. Okay, here we go. Close up of the screen. So you would scan and scan to cut data, and then you would simply just scan this in and it shows up. After it scans it in, you save it to the machine or a USB or wherever you want to save it to so that you can work with it. So I'll show you where it is. Retrieve data, and it's in the machine, and it's the last thing I did. So there it is. So now I was able to size it. So I would go in here and edit and object edit, and that's my size. And I made it a 1/2 inch bigger, and that's what's around it so that it'll pop off. Now, yes, my fabric is prepared. I have a backing on it. I did not reverse this because I didn't care which way the stem went. Otherwise, it's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter. So here are a few of the pieces that I cut. Let's see, how do I get this focused for you back here? So the shamrock, those are the other pieces. So I put in there, when I scanned it in, I needed 4 of each of those. I actually did 5 because sometimes I'll cut an extra one just in case one does something goofy. But in the end, this is what I came up with, and I love it. I just think it's really
Barb,
awesome.
I would have sworn if you had asked me, okay, check this out. I would have sworn that darker color in there that you had taken a photo of your fabric and printed that on print moda. I mean, if you had, I would have bet $1 million on that.
Absolutely. You could do that. Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
like that.
Get it out of scraps in the simple way. And that's project number 1. But remember, it's all about the fabrics you use and the designs you pick. You could get inspiration from anywhere and scan it into your machine and create it. So that's number 1. Number 2, I did some placemats. Now I know placemats are, you do those all over the place, but I use some features in these that I think maybe you'll actually use. So let me get down here and show you what I did. The first 2 placemats are done with lettering in the Stellaire, and that lettering is also in other machines, but you'll notice how big they are. So again, I just took fabric, just scrap fabric, and I put batting on the back of it, and I stitched out my lettering. Then I did the extra things on ScanNCut, and I'll show you a little bit about how I did those. Then I quilted it with shamrocks, and I did that quilt design in the design center. It's so simple to do. So okay, this one says Shamrock Wishes, and the other one says Irish Kisses.
Oh,
and it's
that's
got
so cute.
Yeah, and it's got lips all over it. So again, you could make these reversible and make them for 2 different seasons if you really wanted to. So we're going to go to the machine. Why is it that now that I'm here, I keep putting my remote down in the wrong place? Let's go to the machine and figure out how I did this. Like I said, this is done in the Stellaire, but you can do it in other machines. So first I need fonts because I'm going to do the wishes and kisses kinds of things. Here's all your fonts, but none of them will do what I want it to do. They will not go big enough because you notice these are huge. So I went into this category, which is different fonts. These literally are designs. Each letter is a design, so it's treated differently. I use this one, and let's do the wishes. There's my W, set it. Now I need to size it. So I go to size, and I have to tell it to change the stitch count. Otherwise, it won't go as big as I want it to. So change the stitch count. I want to make it super skinny because I'm fitting all of that into one placemat. And then I'm going to make it longer. Now, it's easy for me visually to see when I rotate it. And then I go back to size. That is still active. So I'm good to go here. So now I'm going to make it. I did them 9 inches is what I did. Most of my placemats are like, oh, I had that measurement before. What are they? 9, I don't know. I make them, about 13.5 by 18.5. I like my placemats a little bit bigger than what you can buy. Anyway, so there's your letter. Squish it down here. And you're going to add now another letter because these are designs. It's not just font. I'm going to go home and I'm going to go into the memory of the machine because I have partial one already started here. Here's my wishes and it's WIS. So add another letter. Remember, it's in this category. I need the H. And I set that. And now, if I go in here and decide to rotate it first, it's going to be a problem because now when I go to size and I want to change the stitch count, it says, it's okay to put it back into its original position. So the rotate was not any good. If I do some sizing first, I can rotate and still size more and it'll still be active. So there is that. Again, skinny as you can, rotate if you want, up to 9. I just like to do it visually to get it close. Rotate 90 degrees. Oh, see, now it's not, I made it too big. Oh, dang it. Rotate. Let's go back to its original. Is that its original? Yeah, that's okay. Size. I've only practiced this 100 times. Why is it giving me grief now?
Oh, only because we're live.
I know. Okay. So now I can go back to size because it'll still be active and I can make it taller and squish it in here. So I'm going to do one more letter. So you can see that one's too big now, but you can fuss with that. I made them pretty tight. Add design, which happens to be a font, but not in that category. Where am I? WISHE. And set it. And you've seen this now. I'm going to size it first. I'll make it super skinny. Then I'm going to rotate it so I can visually play with it better. And now I still size active. Make it tall. Oh, it wasn't still active. Oh, it's not going to be still active. It's a new design. Idiot. Why did I think that? It's not like when you do fonts and stuff like that. It's still active, but it's a new design, so it's not still active. You have to activate it each time. Okay, rotate. Back to size. Now it's still active. And I'm going to make it big. Okay, then the last time we need an S, but there's already an S here. So why the heck don't I just use it? I would do a little more playing with size to make them all match, but I'll go back in here and I'll say duplicate. I got to choose the S, duplicate the S, and then I have my wishes. And I did overlap this a little bit, but I can squish those a little closer and you can see then how I can do that in one hooping on the Stellaire wishes. Cool?
That's
Okay.
really cute.
And you can imagine any word, any holiday. I mean, good grief. So then I came in here and I grabbed a font that I wanted it to connect because I wanted to cut it on ScanNCut. I didn't want to stitch on top of the lettering. I decided I just wanted to iron on those. So I picked this font because it does that. SHAMROCK. Shamrock. Set. And I want to send it to my ScanNCut as a cut file. You all know how to do this. You've seen it before. You go under your color palette. You go to the bottom of the embroidery thread palette, and you turn it into a cut file by using the scissors. And there it tells you it's a cut file. And then you send it to your ScanNCut either via wireless or you can do a USB. Doesn't matter. Once you get to your ScanNCut, you're going to grab it. So let's go in here. I'm going to retrieve it. I've already put it in the machine, and I'm going to grab it out of here. Oh, I think that was it. That's it. Shamrock. So right now it's just like it is over there. However, I need it to be reversed. So I'm going to say edit, object edit, and this is your reverse right there. Boom. You can't read it anymore because it's backwards. Well, anyway, so that's how you cut that out. Now let's go back and let me show you how to do the quilting pattern. So I quilted this with shamrocks. I went into my design center. I grabbed a shape. There are hearts in here, plain old hearts, and there are also funky hearts. I tried all of them. And to be honest with you, I just like the plain old heart best. So grab the plain old heart. I'm going to size it down a whole bunch. You can size to whatever you want. You know, it's just a matter of what you're looking for. I think I did about 2 inches on this. Something like that. Close enough. So grab that, duplicated it, kind of moved it out of the way, rotated it 90 degrees, and then I moved it into touch. And when I did my quote research, because I'm not a lot of Irish, there are 4 leafed shamrocks and there are 3 leafed shamrocks. So it just depends on, I did some of each. On the quilting, I did the 4 because I want to cover more ground, so to speak. One more? No, that's not what I wanted to do. But I have to grab something now anyway. I don't think this is going to work. Why did I do that? Yeah, not what I want. Return. Go back. Can't go back. You would bring in a 4th one. Dang it. I have it saved, so let's just grab that. We didn't pocket. Shamrock. Boop, boop, boop. There it is. And here's one where I erased the middle. This one I did not erase the middle. And this is one I did with the funky hearts that I didn't really like too much. Okay, so now you have your shamrock and you're going to quilt with it. I'm going to go ahead and say next. It is a running stitch. Well, why did I do that? Just link it all together, say preview. I don't need to save it. It's already saved. And here I have it. Now, how the heck am I going to quilt with that, right? Well, in the Stellaire, you have an amazing opportunity. First of all, I'm going to size this down a little bit as a whole. Give it a little more size. Okay, close enough. I don't know where I went exactly. But here I have my magic button to go to my matrix. And boom, I now have a quilt pattern to quilt on my placemat in this case, or whatever I want. Depending on the size you make that, you can have 3 across, you could have 4 down, whatever you're trying to do. So this one I actually quilted 4 across and 3 down. So I did 2 hoopings basically, and then used the positioning marker in the machine to make sure that I had it matched up where I wanted it to be. So there is your shamrock quilting. And it's hard to see on this because of the fabric, but I'll show you my next ones. So
That's beautiful, Barb. That's beautiful.
Well, and it's so simple. You could do whatever words you wanted for whatever holiday you wanted. So now, of course, I had to do some Minnie and Mickey for St. Patrick's Day. So there's Mickey, and here's, and you could do these for every holiday. I mean, it's just the fabric you use. And in that case, what hat I put on Mickey. But here you can easily see the quilting. I quilted with Mickey's because it's a solid fabric. So that's the same concept. I just brought in a circle. I brought in another circle. I brought in a circle. I duplicated it. I moved it to be ears. I duplicated this one, moved it over to be the other ear. And then I erased these parts that were in here so that all I had was the head and the ears off the head. Okay. So let's go look at how I did those. They're built into ScanNCut. Not Mickey's hat, but everything else is built into ScanNCut. So let's go home and we're going to grab a design. So here in the patterns, I have Minnie, Disney. It's under this icon here, this category. Thank you. Scroll down. You've seen these before. There's the Mickey split in half. There's the Minnie split in half. We'll just do the Minnie and you'll know what I did. Now, these are not 3 inches by 3 inches, obviously. They're 10 something by 10 something. So that's easy because you can do that with Disney in ScanNCut. You can size however you want. So we'll just pretend like this is as big as it was. Whatever, I'm going to say okay, and then I would cut A, and I would cut B, and I've got the base of Minnie's head, A and B. Okay, and I didn't reverse these either because they're symmetrical. Doesn't matter. So then and yes, this was prepared fabric. I had the stuff on the back of it so that I could iron it down. I did stitch around these. I wasn't going to, but I did because I want these to last for a long, long time, go through many washes and dries and not have to think about it. Okay, so then you're going to say, well, that's nice. Where's her bow? Well, notice she has a bow here, but it's integrated into her head. So I went searching for an option. I went into pattern, I went into Disney. I happened to scroll through this category and look what I found. A bow. Ha-ha. Grant you, it's only 4 inches by 5 inches. I had to measure how big the bow was on this one, which is easy enough to do, and just make this a little bit bigger to make sure it covered. And it's asymmetrical. It's not the same as what's on her head. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And I didn't reverse this one either. So I sized it so that it fit. And then I only cut the outline. That's it. Just cut the outline. And then I had a gold bow. Well, obviously she needed dots because Minnie's bow always has dots. So how did I do that? You can either do that in your ScanNCut or you can do that in your machine, grab circles and multiply it. So I've already saved it in here, but obviously I just went here. I found the circle and I sized it. This is a big circle. I sized them to 3/4 of an inch. And I did save them in the machine. So we'll go grab them so you can see what I did. All I have to do is find them. Yes, we are doing all these little things today. Well, there's all the pieces, the layout of the pieces that I cut for the chair back. And that was the gold part. I need circles. Come on. There they are. So I put a little piece of white fabric down and I moved all the circles onto where that white fabric was. I think I said this last month. When I do white, I always take a magic marker and I literally outline the edges so I know where the piece of fabric is, because otherwise you can't see it. So I cut out all the dots and I just kind of played with them till I liked where they were and put them on. So there's Minnie. Now, Mickey's hat. Where did that come from? Well, it's not in the Stellaire, it's not in Luminaire, it's not in ScanNCut. There were hats in those things, but I didn't like any of them. So I went ahead and found something. Where do you suppose? Yes, on free clip art. There's the hat I found that I thought was adorable. And it was a little too much for what I wanted to do. So I did not do the shamrock. I did not differentiate this top. I did not do this extra bottom piece here, but I just did the general hat. And again, I didn't reverse it because I didn't care which way it sat on his head. You could have reversed it, wanted to, if you wanted to go the other way. So anyway, then I just scanned this on my scan mat like I showed you before and made it the size I thought looked good between his ears and cut the pieces out. So those are in here too. Machine. So every time you scan, you save in your machine. That's very important. All right, so there's the hat. And I actually did all of the pieces, which I wound up not using them. So you know how to do that. You can go in here, you can object edit, and it will put a box around something. Well, I had a little ditty there, which I didn't want. So I got rid of that. Okay, and then it goes to wherever it goes. Once it went to one of the pieces I didn't want to do, like there's the shamrock, I just got rid of it. Nope, I only took part of the shamrock out. You know what I'm saying. And then like I said, I made the Minnie quilt pattern or the Mickey quilt pattern just by doing circles, and I went into matrix and I made it big enough. This one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mickeys across and 3, 4 down. And you'll know that because it'll tell you what size you are doing. So those were the placemats. Do we have any questions? I hope we have some questions.
Oh, Barb, this has been so good, and I am following the questions on here. There aren't a lot. There are a lot of them that say they're going to go back to the beginning because this is so much great information. So does anybody have any questions for Barb? This is so cute. I love, so that new matrix feature is such a game changer. And of course, on an older machine or a different machine, not even older, but you know, you can add the designs. But how easy was that? I mean, you could make it any size you want and hit that one button. And that one is, I think when that first came out, everyone's like, what are you going to do with that? Well, you can make appliques with it. You can design fabric with it. Quilting, no brainer.
Yeah. And whatever size you have to start with, if that doesn't turn out the right number, you just change the size of the original one and do matrix again. And then you'll see, oh, I just got another row and that's what I want. That kind of thing. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
And you can put it for any hoop. You know, I'm just curious. I see a lot of people here that say that they have the Stellaire and they're so happy that, bye, Mary. They're so happy that you're showing this because a lot of times we show the luminaire and stuff. But it's such a great tutorial on that. So do you guys have any questions on Barbara Jones says you're her hero, and you had quite a few people saying that you're their favorite.
Oh, you're so sweet, guys. Okay, one thing I want to show you is, and you all know I can't draw worth a darn. So on this one, there are lips, and I think I showed you that. And I can't.
Yeah, the lips.
So I went on free clip art and I looked for lips. I found all kinds of crazy lips until I finally found a plain old lip.
Those are some crazy lips, all right.
That's not even the craziest. Let me tell you, it's really nuts. Okay, so are you ready for the third project then? I think I'm
There's more. So by the way, if you're watching, drop your questions in because when she breaks, I'll share them with her. But you explain everything so easily that I don't know that there's going to be too many.
Okay, I just do what I do. What can I say? All right. While we were on the cruise, I asked some of the ladies who watch often what they wanted to see. And they know I like home deck. They know that I love to do big dinners for holidays. So I said, well, my assignment is St. Patrick's Day. So they said, okay, how about a table, not a runner, but a center table piece that has a hole in it? And I kind of went, what? You know, and I thought about it like, okay, they look a circle like a Christmas tree skirt. And I said, okay, so here's what I came up with in the end. This is my hole in the middle.
Oh, that's cute.
what's going to go in my hole in the middle is a big pot of corned beef, cabbage, and potatoes. That's how I'm going to set this. But like I decided not to go round. I went hexagons, and you can find hexagons both in your Stellaire, my design center, and you can find it in ScanNCut. So I started with a hexagon shape, and then I played with size, and I finally came up with a size that I thought I wanted. So I cut some out on paper, and I cut 6 of them out because I wanted to lay it out and make sure I liked the size of the end product, because I couldn't see that in my head. You know what I'm saying? I needed to physically see it. So this is just paper that I cut out. Silly me, but that's how I did it. Then it's like, okay, what am I going to put on each of these hexagons? Well, I went to free clip art and I found a pot of gold. I found a shamrock. I found a gnome. Well, he's so cute.
Oh, that is so cute.
I know. And then I found this symbol, which I thought was pretty. Which way am I going? This way. How about my leprechaun? Topo, cute. And then there's another symbol. Have I gone all the way around? Pot of gold. Yeah. So those are the 6 things I picked. I found lots of options. And when I say you can do this for any holiday, you can do this for any holiday. You could scan free clip art for Easter, Thanksgiving, whatever. You can find, I'm saying, you can find everything on free clip art. So here are the things that I actually found on clip art. There's that one symbol. There's the leprechaun. So it looks like a coloring book. Here's the other symbol. And I played with this one a lot, like how to position it. And I wound up positioning it like that. I also played with it as this design. And when I stitched it out, I didn't care for it. It just didn't have enough oomph. So I wound up just doing it. I colored it in. And I colored it in with magic marker first. When I decided, yes, I like the look, then on my design center, it was very easy just to fill it in. Shamrock, I actually did myself because I had already done those other things and learned how to do them. So I didn't have to find one on free clip art. This is what I did. I had hearts and I made my own stem. I drew my stem. Then here's my pot of gold, which you'll see there's a lot of gold in here, but mine didn't have that. I just filled the top of my pot in with gold metallic thread, and that's how I simplified that. And then here's my gnome with the shamrocks. Those are the ones I settled on. So how did I get them to my machine? Right? I know you've seen this before, but I'm going to go ahead and do this so that you can be reminded of how to do that. We're going to go over to the machine, and I'm going to go home, and here is my phone, and my brother apps are there, and I'm going to go into my Snap app. Okay, it's going to give me choices here. The last one says select an image for pattern editing. That's what I want to do. So as soon as I touch that, it goes to my camera roll. Guess what's in here? All of the things I sent over via my Snap app. Okay, and I could just choose one. Let's see, here's the leprechaun. Say send to machine. It says sending. It says sent. And okay, in my design center. So I'm going to come over here to the machine, go into my design center. I'm going to go to this icon up here, and I'm going to go to Wi-Fi. And it's the last one you sent was the first one that's on the top. So this should be my leprechaun that I just sent. Hang on a second here. It's reading all of that. I didn't do anything to it except I did go over all of these with a magic marker. So they were nice and bold lines. Don't necessarily have to do that. So I'm going to set this and I want to make sure that it's reading it as a line drawing. And so then I would just crop it in a little bit, not that much, and say, okay, It's reminding me down here that it is a satin stitch, which I know I don't want. So yes, I'm going to have to do a little cleanup. I don't care. Set. First thing I'm going to do is change this to a running stitch. However, say okay and fill bucket. There are lots of pieces in this guy. So I'm going to have to touch lots of times to get all of the lines to a running stitch. There are easier ways to do that, but that's what I did. I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to bring in the one I have saved in the pocket that's partially done. Pocket. And he is partially done. So let's go ahead and bring him in. So I've got everything to a running stitch, and I've started to fill his colors in. So I'm going to make it bigger so it's easier to see. This is how I move where I want to see. I notice I forgot to fill a piece of his hat. So I can go in here to the space to fill, pick my brown, come back here to a fill bucket, and touch that piece of his hat. I can also touch the stem. I can make it bigger so it's easier. One thing I love about the Stellaire is that I can use my nails. I actually, you know, it's just a little more, whoops. Except you shouldn't touch all those pieces. I can make it bigger and do that. Let's do his face. I'm going to come in here, take a face color, and touch. Fill bucket is still on. His face, his ear, his hand. However, his hand, his fingers are different pieces. So I need to go ahead and fill those. So I'm going to move this over, make it a little bigger, make it a little easier. And I'm going to fill up the rest of his fingers. Okay. And there we go. And then I can bring it back down. And I can keep filling all of the different things. Like I made his beard white, and I made his eyes, the eyes white. I made his eyes green. Why not? It's a leprechaun. And then I made the actual pupils black. Let's see if you can see all that. So he's got a little bit of eye stuff going on there. Why not? And I'll do one more color so you can just see this. I'm going to do a gold. Now this doesn't represent gold very well because I used metallic, but it'll do the point. I did his buckle up here. No, not the inside, the outside. All right. If you can't quite get it, and I could get it before just fine. All right. Buckle. I did the buttons. Dang it. That button. That button. Come on. There we go. And I did the buckle on his shoes and his belt. All gold. I don't know what Angela's got going on there, but something's going on in the background. Okay. Belt buckle. So you can see I just filled him in and then I stitched him. So I did the same thing on this that I did on the placemats. I stitched on the top fabric and the batting. I didn't have backing on it because I don't want all that, you know, bobbin stuff in the back of these, because you could actually make this reversible very easily. And then I took a large piece of white fabric and batting. And this is just one of the pieces I cut out when I was done. And I did draw hexagons on it. It's just a sample. And then all I had to do was rehoop. So I drew hexagons, and I also drew crosshairs to make sure that I could use my positioning marker to do this easily. So I'm going to go home, grab what I saved in the embroidery side, grab my leprechaun, and there he is, and set him. Then I am going to, I want to make sure he's in the center. I'm going to go ahead and go to embroidery. And how do I know that's right where I want him to be? So hang on here. We're going to change the camera. I thought I was going to change the camera. There we go. To the actual hoop. In my layout, I'm going to go to the positioning. If you need to see that, I can go back. See the dot on there? So yes, that's where I want my first dot to be, is in the center down there. And I want my next dot to go up in the center. I need to go back to the screen. Sorry. Let me go back. I'm going to go to this is my positioning, my 2-point marker. Yes, I want to know where the bottom is and I want to know where the top is. So I say next, and yes, I'm good with that. Say next. Now let's go to the so it shows me that it's down here for my first mark, and I can move it to my second mark. And when I'm all set, I just say next. There's my second mark and set, and I know that it's going to be where I want it to go. Okay, so that's how I made sure that they were there. But also, if they weren't perfectly there, I could cut that hexagon out differently. Like I said, I had a big white piece of fabric and I did all 6 of them. I just drew hexagons on 6 of them and I just rehooped for each little guy. Does that make sense? Okay, we are good to go here. Yes, yes, yes. So then I would stitch the leprechaun and I would stitch all the others, like this one is stitched and the pot of gold is stitched. And in the design center, I just erased the coins and filled it with gold. And then I did a gold outline around everything. That I did in ScanNCut. This was stitched. It turned out so cute. And that was on ScanNCut. So I noticed that first of all, I did just a meandering background before I did any ScanNCut or before I stitched anything. That's going under everything. But except the back, I didn't put the back on. Then when I got done and I cut these out and they were the size I wanted, I decided what I wanted on the back, actually what I wanted for binding on each of the hexagons. And then I matched the backing to match whatever the binding was. And that's how you could easily do this as reversible. So then I was all done with the binding and I put these together with a joining stitch. That's all. Monofilament thread joining stitch. And they're strong. They're not going anywhere. So questions on that whole thing?
I love that, Barb. I love that. Sorry about yelling. Somebody was at my door. Jenny wanted to know if it was the cute UPS guy. No, Jenny, it wasn't. No. So what about, since while you're at that machine though, for someone totally new at this, what is a joining stitch? What stitches you use for that?
Okay, so the problem with that is I am on a Stellaire XE2, so I don't have sewing on my Stellaire. So I use the joining stitch on one of my other machines. But a joining stitch is, if you go into the question mark of your machine and look for something like that, you can pick a stitch and it'll tell you what it's for. A joining stitch will be centered and it'll grab each side so that it'll stitch like this to center each time, and that joins your piece together. There are several different choices of joining stitches. Okay. I'd have to go to Luminaire to show you.
No, well, that was good. Just because I know somebody's going to say, well, should I use a zigzag stitch or what should I use for that? And so that's.
A joining stitch is not as prominent as a zigzag stitch. You're going to see your zigzag stitch more than you would see the joining stitch. That makes sense.
They're loving it. And I answered this on YouTube in the background, but Jones wants to know, she has Luminaire, can I do this on your machine? Yes, of course you can. Yes, except for the matrix part, except for the matrix.
Correct. But you have ways on the Luminaire to multiply those and make your own pattern, just like I did here. It's just not a touch of a button. You've got to choose to add them. I can show you how to do that on this machine. It has that same option. Okay, so let me show you.
All right, back to Barb.
What? Oh, I went to the wrong. Sorry. Not on the ScanNCut. Doesn't do well there. Let's go home. Let me grab one of those designs so I can show you. All right, I've got the Mickey. There we go. So if I come here to edit and I go to this icon, but I don't go to matrix and I add pieces, like add one to the top, add another one to the top. Oh, too big. So let's go down here add to the top. I'm going to squish those together because I want them to touch if they're quilting, right? Like you don't want all separate ones. Now I can add another one, say to the bottom, add to the bottom. Okay, let's just, I might be able to add another one. See how you can do it? No, okay, can't add another one. But now I can add a whole row to the side. So it does not extend outside. Give me a break. Okay, now if I want to do a third one, it might extend outside. No, it didn't. So you can do that in the luminaire. You can also do that in here, but we also have the matrix in this one. So it's just one touch and it populates all of it. Does that help you on luminaire? Everything else I've done, you absolutely can do in the luminaire. You can do on a 10 needle. You can do in the Dream. It's a little harder because it doesn't have quite as many features in the Dream, and you can't send it via Snap app, but it can be done.
Yeah, the Snap app. I saw a lot of people in here saying they love that app. And, it's kind of funny, Barb. Do you remember when the Stellaire first came out and everything? That was kind of the first digital, like on your phone or your, to use that. And everyone's like, oh, no, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that. The pushback was huge. And after you play with it a little bit, you get used to it. And I mean, like for the luminaire, the Dream, you can still scan in things, but this is so much faster. I mean, and it's instant. And didn't they say it's even maybe a little more accurate because it's a clear photo?
Much more, because the scanner, the camera in your machine is not near the quality as the cameras in our phones. So when you take a picture, you have a better image to start with, and then you send that, and you don't have near as much cleanup. When we did it in the Dream, we used to have to spend a lot of time cleaning up that image to make it work. Now we don't.
Absolutely. The My Design Center, and I saw some comments about this as well. And by the way, welcome back, Facebook. Glenda's in here. She's waiting for her package. She was on the cruise with us. Say hi to Pete. And she's waiting for her package. I think she ordered something fabulous from Brother last I checked. She'll be on a fancy machine. Glenn totally squirreled me. I was thinking about something with the Stellaire. You squirreled me. I have to put my squirrel on. Yes, my Design Center, and I saw some questions and comments about that, offers so many possibilities. I mean, you literally took a sketch, although I love those lips. You took just a rough sketch and turned it into a gorgeous embroidery design. And that was such a great tutorial to see how easy it is. And if you screw it up, take the color back out and move it around until you like it. Really easy.
Yeah. And they turn out beautiful. I mean, I didn't do anything special. I just found things on clip art free, make sure there's no licensing involved in it, stuff like that. And I did a magic marker around it. I wasn't even that fussy with my magic marker just because I used to have to do that with the Dream. So I still do that. But a lot of times you can just send it over and look at it. If it's good, you didn't have to do magic marker.
Even better. So some people said they've never even used a joining stitch, never heard of it. Caroline says she uses the couching stitch on the luminaire. It's strong and doesn't show much. Good tip there, Caroline. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, that couching stitch is actually perfect. Yeah.
Let's see.
The one that
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Barb. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's the one I use when I couch because I'm always couching curves, and it has something to grab as you curve. Whichever way you curve, it grabs the yarn both ways.
I think I just figured out your next tutorial.
Couching? Oh, okay. I like that.
Oh, you're welcome. Linda said she didn't know anything about the Snap app. It's very fun.
It's free. It's free. It's free. It's free. You just go on, you load it on your phone, and that's how easy it is to use. Now, you have to have your phone and your machines hooked up to the same wireless network. That's all you have to do. So, yeah, you want to do that.
Yes, and I saw somebody asking, is it the same as the Artspira app? No, totally different, but you can use the same phone and the same machine. How's that?
Yeah. In fact, in my phone in there, I have the Artspira app as well as, oops, it just went away. So as well as the others. So I have Brother Sport, I have the Snap app, and I have my Stitch Monitor. They're all in one place so that I can find what it is I want.
Nice. Wait, did you just say Brother? Did you say Brother Sport?
Brother Support.
Oh, I thought you said sport. I was like, oh, we're getting into athletics now. Fabulous. They must have heard that people love using Brother machines on the cruise, and now they need a gym. So we're branching out. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Don't call Brother and ask for a treadmill. It's not going to happen.
No. Support.
Yeah. So, hey, Linda, she said her store does not offer classes. So, Linda, don't forget that we have weekly live shows here on Brother Sews. You can go to Brother's YouTube channel. You're on Facebook right now, but go to Brother's YouTube channel. They have a sews and a crafts, and you can go back and binge watch. We're on episode 416. That means 400 episodes, and we didn't start counting for the first 100 or so. So you could go back and binge watch depending on what machine you use. You can really learn a lot. And, you know, a lot of the My Design Center, we have a lot of people here who have the Dream Machine. It won't do everything that we show, but it will do a lot. So just play around with it, because I'll bet you it does more than you've ever tried on it. Let's go with that.
Yeah, for sure. That's where I started.
Any questions for Barb? Barb, you explained it so well. There are no questions. Everybody's just saying they love it. Jenny can't wait to get home so she can try these. I love this for St. Patty's Day. And you know that I've been trying to find something small for the boat, like for the guys, like to put, I always put little appetizers out at lunchtime during fishing tournaments. And I think something like this would be really cute. And I think I'm going to go try to find a picture of a fish. I don't know how you'd connect the fish, but I think I could figure it out after everything you just showed there and do little fish quilting. Oh my gosh, Barb, you're going to be impressed. I'll share photos.
Hey, I love it. Well, I had fun doing this. At first I thought, oh, I have to do Stellaire. I'm not doing the Luminaire. And it's like, yeah, it's okay. It does so much good stuff and easily, just like the Luminaire. So I hope you guys get inspired, and any holiday, any season, you can do these projects for.
I love this. Can't find the Snap app. So it's under, would you hold your phone up again, Barb, so she can see what it looks like?
Hang on.
I think mine's on my other phone.
Okay, so my Snap app, that's this one.
You see what it looks like there? So if you go to Brother, just look for those little icons right there. My Design Snap app. So now you got it.
If you have I think it's in the Stellaire. Hang on a second.
Yeah, it is. If you go to the Stellaire on the last screen, I think it's on the last screen or second to last screen, you can take a photo of it, can't you?
Yep.
It's a QR code.
Oh, that's Art Spira. All right. The only one they have in Stellaire is the Art Spira.
Really?
The other, I think the other Luminaire has more that you can just scan.
Okay.
Like this one. Yeah. So, sorry.
Here's a good question about the Design Center. Does the multi-needle have My Design Center? Wait, does the Snap app work with multi-needle Design Center? Judith wants to know. Well,
if you have the wireless version, so that would be the latest 1055. No, shoot, I only have the 1050, so I can't use it on my 10 needle.
Yeah, and that's all I have too.
Yeah. So I haven't done it myself. If it's wireless, the answer would be yes. I think. I'm sure.
So Judith, I got an idea. Why don't you try it and let us know?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Tell us what multi-needle you have, and then maybe that might help.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Brother Sews, you're always on it. Thank you. Send a private message with what model you have, and they will let you know. So how do you like that? Brother Social Team, you guys are awesome. Thank you. And they're on Facebook, so it means Facebook is working again. All right, Barb, this has been a fantastic show filled with information. All of you watching, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to Brother's channel. You'll never miss a live show. You know, in the summer, sometimes we just have shows on Tuesdays, not Thursdays. So if you want to stay up to date, you need to follow Brother Sews and Brother Crafts, and you'll always know, because we always post it a few days early so you can see what's coming that week. And then if you're on Facebook, if it's actually working, be sure to like and follow Brother Sews, because the algorithm changed again on Facebook. And I don't have anything here to show you exactly how to go back, but you have to go back and follow the pages you like, and you have to follow your groups for notification. Otherwise, you won't get those notifications either. Barb, I swear they do this like every 6 months or something, and you need like a full college course to figure it out. But we know the brother fans love watching, and I want to make sure they don't miss a thing, for sure.
Sounds good. And we love doing it. So thanks for having us, Angela. Till the next time. I don't know when that'll be or what it'll be, but I look forward to it.
Sounds good. So everyone, thank you for watching. Until next time, happy sewing, Barb. Fantastic projects. I think you're going to have the whole brother family busy all the way up until March. When is St. Patrick's Day? 17th or 18th? Somewhere in there.
17th.
17th. Yeah, my mother's birthday is the 18th. I can never get them mixed up. All right. Thanks, Barb.
Today was all about green, your favorite color.
Yes. Yes. You know what's funny? You say that every time St. Patrick's Day comes around, that day I actually don't wear green, and then halfway through the day I forget and have to go back and change. What you know? I'm going to put a big sticker. Barb reminded me to wear green. Everybody's saying thank you, thank you. They love you, Barb. Thank you, and all of you. Thank you for watching. Glad we made a live show today. Take care.